Most people think these things are the same, but they're completely different. By the end of this video, you'll never confuse them again. First up, ocean versus sea. At first glance, oceans and seas look almost identical. Both are filled with salt water, both have waves, and both are home to millions of marine animals. But they're not the same. An ocean is a massive body of salt water that covers a huge part of the Earth's surface. There are only 5 oceans on Earth: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and Arctic oceans. Together, they cover more than 70% of our planet. A sea, on the other hand, is much smaller than an ocean. Most seas are connected to an ocean and are often partly surrounded by land. Because they're closer to land, seas are usually shallower than oceans. Let's compare their size. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on Earth, covering more than 165 million square kilometers. It's so enormous that all of Earth's continents could fit inside it. In comparison, the Mediterranean Sea covers about 2.5 million square kilometers, making it much smaller. Here are some famous examples. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the world, while the Atlantic Ocean is the second largest. Well-known seas include the Mediterranean Sea, the Caribbean Sea, the Arabian Sea, and the Red Sea. Here's an interesting fact. The Sargasso Sea is one of the only seas in the world that has no land surrounding it. Instead, it's bordered entirely by powerful ocean currents, making it one of the most unique seas on Earth. Now it's quiz time. Which one is usually larger? A, C, B? Ocean? Pause the video and comment your answer. The correct answer is Doao, ocean. Now that you know the difference, you'll never confuse an ocean with a sea again. Let's move on to the next comparison. And next up is lake versus pond. At first glance, lakes and ponds look almost identical. Both are surrounded by land, filled with fresh water, and home to many plants and animals. But they're not the same. A lake is a large body of water surrounded by land. Lakes are usually much deeper and can have waves, different water temperatures, and even small islands. A pond, on the other hand, is much smaller and shallower. Because sunlight can usually reach the bottom, plants often grow throughout the entire pond. Let's compare their size. Lake Superior is the largest freshwater lake by surface area in the world, covering more than 82,000 square kilometers. Most ponds are only a tiny fraction of that size and are often just a few meters deep. Here are some famous examples. Lake Superior, Lake Victoria, and Lake Baikal are among the world's most famous lakes. Well-known ponds include the Serpentine in London's Hyde Park and countless natural ponds found in forests and parks around the world. Here's an interesting fact. Lake Baikal in Russia is the deepest lake on Earth, reaching a depth of more than 1,600 meters. It also holds about 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh surface water. Now it's quiz time. Which one is usually deeper? A, pond, B, lake? Pause the video and comment your answer. The correct answer is B, lake. Now that you know the difference, you'll never confuse a lake with a pond again. Let's move on to the next comparison. Now next up is hill versus mountain. At first glance, hills and mountains look almost identical. Both are natural landforms that rise above the surrounding land. But they're not the same. A hill is a naturally raised area of land with a rounded top and gentle slopes. Hills are usually easier to climb and don't rise as dramatically above the landscape. A mountain, on the other hand, is much taller, steeper, and often has a sharp or rugged peak. Mountains can have rocky cliffs, snow-covered summits, and extreme weather at higher elevations. Let's compare their size. Although there's no official height that separates a hill from a mountain, many people consider landforms over 600 meters, 2,000 feet, to be mountains. Mountains are generally much taller and more difficult to climb than hills. Here are some famous examples. Primrose Hill in London is a well-known hill that offers beautiful views of the city. Famous mountains include Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, and Mount Fuji in Japan. Here's an interesting fact. Some places called mountains are actually shorter than nearby hills. That's because many of these names were given hundreds of years ago, long before modern surveying equipment existed. Now it's quiz time. Which one is usually steeper? A, hill, B, mountain? Pause the video and comment your answer. The correct answer is B, mountain. Now that you know the difference, you'll never confuse a hill with a mountain again. Let's move on to the next comparison. Next up is kingdom versus empire. At first glance, kingdoms and empires may seem almost identical. Both are ruled by powerful leaders, have defined territories, and have existed throughout history. But they're not the same. A kingdom is a country or territory ruled by a king or queen. It usually consists of a single nation or a group of closely connected regions with the same ruler. An empire, on the other hand, is a collection of many kingdoms, countries, or territories ruled by one emperor or empress. Empires are often created through conquest, expansion, or political alliance. Let's compare their size. Kingdoms are generally smaller and govern a single nation or people. Empires are much larger, often stretching across continents and ruling over many different cultures, languages, and ethnic groups. Here are some famous examples. The Kingdom of England, the Kingdom of Nepal, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are well-known kingdoms. Famous empires include the Roman Empire, the British Empire, the Mongol Empire, and the Ottoman Empire. Here's an interesting fact. At its peak, the British Empire covered nearly 1/4 of the Earth's land and ruled over around 25% of the world's population, making it the largest empire in history. Now it's quiz time. Which one usually usually includes multiple countries or kingdoms. A. Kingdom. B. Empire? Pause the video and comment your answer. The correct answer is B. Empire. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. It really helps the channel grow and lets me create more videos like this. Also, let me know in the comments which comparison surprised you the most and what you'd like to see in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.